All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have BKO right here with us and Majid Jami. So straight to our next conversation. One way to measure the effectiveness of any policy is by its impact on those closest to the grassroots. That argument formed the basis of comments by the governor of Enugu State, Peter Mbah, as he commended President Bola Tinubu over his economic reforms. Governor Mbah said the President Tinubu's policies have translated into increased inflows from the Federation Account Allocation Committee (FAAC) to states, enabling subnational governments to better meet financial obligations and execute development projects. We must begin to hold our governors accountable. Now let's hear from the governor.
You did very well, and you are still doing well. The environment, because when you were in that the president has initiated at the center, which has consequently allowed more funds to flow to the subnationals. This is why a lot of what you are seeing here in Enugu today is a reality. It's a reality because the president has, through his bold initiatives, been able to ease the macroeconomic pressure. We can see the exchange rates stabilizing and even trending downwardly. We can see Naira strengthening. We can see our foreign exchange hitting for the first time in 13 years the $50 billion mark. That did not happen by accident. Bringing that back home, we can also see how connecting to the center has benefited us here in Enugu. You must have followed the news. The international airport and the cargo airport in Enugu has just recently been concessioned to a private investor. It means that Enugu State will soon become a major aviation hub, thanks to Mr. President. This is the only international airport, and I dare say the only airport that has been successfully concessioned in the history of this country. In less than 6 months, we have now received approval from Mr. President to connect the rail line, as we know, the Eastern Rail Line that has only just stopped at Aba. We now have approval from Mr. President for that rail line to run all the way to Enugu State. So our dream of a multimodal transportation system has just become a reality. It took Mr. President to give approval for the Southeast Development Commission. And you saw the launch we just had recently, the Vision 2050 of the Southeast Development Commission. The first item on that agenda is the gas pipeline initiative. When we campaigned for office, we told you that we're going to grow this economy to 30 billion if you gave us your mandate. What I'm here to tell you today is that we are on course to superseding that projection. Because all our moribund industries have been what? Revamped. Hotel Presidential is working. The International Conference Center is working. The United Palm Products Limited is working. The Niger Gas is working. The Sunrise Flour Mill is working.
All right, Governor Peter Mbah's public commendation of the president. Talk to me. Do you agree with him?
Well, I cannot disagree with him because he's the governor. He knows how the state was when he inherited it. He He can see the progress that is being made. He can see the level of support that the president is giving the subnationals. No doubt about it. The current generation of governors have had so much money to work. These days, they are even embarking on the kind of projects that in the past were reserved for federal authorities. But they have so much money now, and they can do so much. Go to Delta State, look at the kind of bridges that Oborevore is constructing. Giant bridges spanning on several kilometers. So, and this governor is saying that, look, the bold initiatives that the president undertook have helped to ease macroeconomic burdens. And I was talking about the foreign reserves that hit the $50 billion mark. The first time in 13 years that we've achieved that. Yes, some people will still say, no, he has not achieved anything. This is what we hear, that he has not achieved anything. How do you have the conscience to say someone has not achieved anything when you are not blind? Even if you chose to close your heart to realities, you close your mind to realities, you cannot in good conscience say Mr. President has not done anything. He may not have met your expectations, but to say he has not done anything is foolish. He has done some things. And this is what this governor is saying. Now, we've achieved stability in terms of the foreign exchange. In fact, the concurrence that we have in terms of the convergence of the exchange rates, the parallel and the official. We didn't have that for a very long time. For a very long time, we didn't have that. People can plan because they know that whatever be the case, this is how the Naira will not trend above so level. It enables them to plan. And that is why more and more foreign investors are coming into our country. Look at what Shell, look at the announcement made by Shell the other day.
$20 billion.
This is a company that had decided to even divest from our country. Look at the Petrobras, when the president went to Brazil. Investments are coming. So the CBN is able to shore up our foreign reserve because not only are we having foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investments are coming too. So the Enugu governor has every reason to say what I say, and that's why you find that a lot of the governors are happy with him. Those of them in rival parties who are defecting, it is because they can see clearly that they've achieved so much in less than 3 years. Some of them have achieved much more in less than 3 years than they achieved in 4 years. In 2 years, they achieved much more than they achieved in 4 years.
Yeah, you talked about the governor of Kwara.
Yes, the governor of Kwara State said that to me. You know, and we can quote him. That's what he said. So, yes, people are going through some pains, but ultimately the economy will get far better, and people can plan. He was talking about people, hotels in Lagos along the Lekki corridor, fully booked during Valentine. During Valentine, we went to Ibro Fish in Abuja. This is not meant to give advertisement, but they do good fish anyway. You know, we couldn't find somewhere to park, and we sat down. So many patrons, we sat down 2 hours, nobody attended to us. Yet we refused to go home.
Even when you wanted Arabian tea, there was no joke to serve.
There was no joke to serve us. You know, in Abuja, they spoiled Abuja people with Arabian tea.
Okay.
Arabian tea is probably growing in the belly of some Abuja residents. I wanted to be like them. Let me take Arabian tea. the crowd was overwhelming. They said, oh, we have Arabian tea, but there's no job.
All right, but back to the conversation. Now, FAAC inflows have increased. Now, the question is, are the states using these additional funds efficiently and also transparently?
No, of course, we can see some of the governors have been very, very responsible and responsive the way they utilize some of these resources.
Yes, we have a few.
Yeah, we just spoke about Governor earlier. And we can see even Lagos State, for example, what Lagos, of course, Lagos has always been the center of excellence. You can see the governor of Kwara, Ekiti, Niger, they are procuring tractors, they are setting up industries. The other day, the governor of Ekiti paid, I think, about 1.2 billion naira profit to about 1,500 youth farmers.
Okay.
It's as a result of the kind of increased revenue that they are getting from the government that they are able to do such things. And success stories like that abound in most of the states. And it's a trickling down effect from both federal to state and even local governments. Although we still need the people on the streets, the masses, still need to feel the impact of this more. And that's why local governments need to be more effective because they are the ones that are closer to the people. Like Governor Mbah said that, he mentioned $50 billion. Yes. So the external reserves of Nigeria, gross, now we have $50.5 billion. While the net, if you take gold reserves and some other receivables, comes to about $34.8 billion. First time in about 13 years. In 13 years. And just as we are coming out, I mean, our gold reserves now stands at about $3.5 billion from less than $1 billion 5 years ago. So it's a combination of the way the managers of the economy, as in the CBN governor and the coordinating minister of the economy, the kind of discipline they have put into the management of the economy. And I pray that the governors too will reciprocate like Mbah is doing. Let them come out and tell Nigerians what they've been able to do with these extra resources for the good people of their individual states.
All right, gentlemen, let's get out of the country this time. War rhetoric is getting hotter in the Middle East.